This is the Monday Motor Minute brought to you by Engen X-treme.
Oh yes, your engine trouble comes from the crankshaft's harmonic resonance not syncing with the camshaft's pressure feedback loop, disrupting combustion. The ECU detects a slight flywheel imbalance, recalibrates the air-fuel mixture, and that misaligns the EGR valve, which disrupts intake airflow, causing exhaust back pressure. That's the little putt-putt sound. It's simple, really.
For an oil as professional as you are, use next-gen Engen X-treme, extremely South African oil for South Africa's professionals.
It is 6:52. I'm Howard Feldman. A very good morning. This is your Motor Minute fueled by Engen X-treme. South Africans spend more time behind the wheel than motorists in almost any other country surveyed, with the new research showing that the average driver spends 10 hours and 38 minutes a week driving. This adds up to 23 days and 1 hour for every year. Much of that time is spent commuting to work, taking children to school, running errands, visiting friends and family. And while driving is often viewed as simply part of a daily life, psychologists say that spending so much time on the road can have a profound impact on our stress levels, on our relationships, and our overall mental well-being. I wonder what it does to our marriages when couples are driving together. Anyway, to help us understand the psychological effects of spending so much time and so much of our lives behind the wheel, we are joined by Barry Viljoen. He's a clinical psychologist and no stranger to Chai FM. Barry, a very good morning. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're well.
Good morning. I'm well. Thank you so much for having me.
It's really so fascinating because, we don't think of the psychological impact. But yet I know that if I'm driving somewhere with my wife and we get stuck in traffic, she's got to almost talk me through it and say, Howard, there's nothing you can do. It's just traffic, and you just have to, because I'm really impatient and I'm bored and I just need to get where I want to get to. So clearly I'm not mentally as tough as I think I am, but it really clearly does have an impact on us.
Most definitely. I think you've already highlighted a few things there. You've highlighted that you're frustrated. You've highlighted that you're focused on somewhere else as opposed to driving. You're thinking of things you'd like to do, places you want to be, things you want to get done. And then you said also that you're bored. So I think those are already interesting things coming up. I'm assuming in that case you've estimated a certain amount of time for the trip and now it's gone significantly more.
Exactly, and which means that maybe I like to be in control and I'm not in control and I've got to give up that control. It's crazy, actually.
And also you're hyper-focused because you're meant to be hyper-focused. You're watching out for other cars. You're focusing on driving, which is already a fairly complex process, even though because for most of us it's become quite habituated, we don't think about it anymore. But there's a lot going on. So I think it also takes a lot of attention focus and puts a bit of cognitive strain on ourselves. So we are more fatigued. I don't know if you've ever done a long commute on a more frequent basis.
Oh, no, not frequent.
You feel exhausted. Well, let's say if you're doing it a couple of days a week, you realize you're far more exhausted and you're like, why am I so tired? I haven't really done anything that different.
Yes, it's so true. It is so true. You drive long distance, but you think, all I've done is sit in the car all day. How tired can I be?
Exactly. The most you've moved is like, an ankle and a foot.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe a knee occasionally. Yeah, so I think that's part of it. And the other thing is also it's about the loss of time that you were talking about. It's time that we could use for things, for our relationships, we could use for things that we're interested in. Like you said, the studies are showing that there's disruption in sleep as well. I think a lot of the time it's because we eat into our sleep time to do the things we want to do and maybe are begrudgingly going to bed.
It's so interesting. So how do we do this better? Because we might not be able to change our commute time, but I guess we can change how we deal with it.
Most definitely. So I think on the one hand, you'll see internationally and to South African extent, a lot of people are using public transport. We don't have as well-developed public transport, but you look at things like the Gautrain, a lot of people are using that where you don't have to focus. You've got your more or less same length of time commute, but in that time you don't really have to focus on too much. Yes, we do lose that convenience of being able to drive ourselves exactly where we want to go, but in that time we could listen to music, we could read a book, We could do some work, taking other things off. In driving, a lot of people who are doing long distance driving are now talking about the benefit of what do you call them? Audiobooks.
Podcasts, audiobooks, which feels listening to
podcast,
yeah, exactly.
Listening to KFM. So I don't want to
Yes.
say that a lot of people are finding radio less productive. It's fun, but I think there's a certain level of achievement if you read a book or heard a book that you were meant to read.
Yes.
And look, I think that also speaks to why radio is so important in the morning. Good morning drive shows are the backbone of South Africa at the moment.
Yeah, because it's company. It takes your mind off the mindlessness of it. Well, sometimes we might be quite mindless, but that is something different. It's interesting because I was reading about Rory Sutherland, who is I don't know if you follow his stuff at all. He is a Brit. He is a very, very influential guy in terms of media and marketing. And he speaks about the fact that, and he focuses mainly on trains, and he says everybody's spending millions and millions of pounds in the UK trying to shorten journeys by 5 minutes, 6 minutes, as though that makes a difference. He says, but actually, if you just to be extreme, had supermodels serving drinks on trains, and there was great Wi-Fi and entertainment, people would be very happy to sit on those trains for longer. So he's saying it's about the experience of that journey, and not about the time of the journey itself. And in a way, that's kind of what you're saying, because you're saying use that time maybe a little bit differently so that you feel a bit more productive rather than just become frustrated.
And also feel more in control of your time, which is the point you were talking about. You're stuck and you feel out of control. All of us like to be in control. I mean,
Yes.
we want to be the drivers of our lives, if I use that analogy. We don't want to be stuck as a passive passenger. So yeah, I think what you're saying again, our experience of public transport, if that was more comfortable, I think we probably feel less tired. Again, ideally, one would want to do the least traveling possible, but that's not a reality. We all live quite far distances. South Africa is quite spread out. So that it's a reality, but it's now, like you said, about managing those challenges. How do we try to do it? I mean, in the same light, could we leave a little bit earlier? Could we leave a little bit later? Flexi hours are becoming very popular around the world, that we don't lose an hour to 2 hours. I mean, Cape Town, I'm sure you saw, has got the worst traffic with how much time people lose every day.
Yeah, Cape Town is another whole level. Okay, so I do need to wrap up, but final thought. What is one thing that somebody should do just to make that commute or that time a little bit easier to bear?
So I think we're talking about finding activities in it which can make you feel more in control, more constructive, trying to manage your time that you don't end up taking away from your sleep and from other relaxation, but also not. So trying to find balance in it, and perhaps trying to avoid the heaviest traffic as much as possible.
That is,
even if that means going to the gym before you go home.
Exactly. Finding a way to minimize that and to give you that sense of control. That is where we do need to leave it. Psychologist Barry Viljoen, thank you as always.